What's going on, guys? It's Greg from East Coast Eyes back with another head review, and this time we have the Maverik Tank 2. This is one of their older models, the original tank. You know, I don't have the tank. Give me a tank. OG tank me. Phoenix flytrap. The Maverik Tank 2.0. This one was highly requested in addition to the new Kinetic 2.0. The tank is Maverik's defensive specific head, and we've got the newest version here. So what you need to know is it's 89 bucks. It comes in 4 colors, just like all of Maverik's heads: white, black, gray, and hyperlight blue, which I have here, and is the update to the original tank. So the weight on this was 5.7 ounces on the heftier side, but I mean, as you can tell, it's a pretty beefy head, built for defense, built for stiffness, and they say this is their stiffest head. So looking at the unstrung version, first thing you're gonna notice is we've got 6 struts here. I think they're taking the crown for the most struts in a Lacrosse head. I think maybe the X20 is close, and it looks like even more because they added in the X rail, which is where they kind of split each strut into these X's, and so it looks like even more struts. I mean, you can just see it looks defensive, it looks stiff, and it is stiff. It's really, really stiff. All those struts are adding a lot of rigidity, and honestly, I think it looks really sick. The way the angles come in, the way the X-rail plays on the inside looks kind of like claws or knives. I mean, I think it looks pretty menacing. So between this and the X20, you've got 2 pretty new, menacing looking defensive heads. And then you've got the level 5 bottom rail, which means that it's gonna be a high pocket design, which is great for defensive heads. Great scoop. This is the same scoop off most Maverik heads. I think one thing people notice about the original tank scoop is it's really flat. You know, you can see really wide and flat, and it's going to get low to the ground. It also doesn't have a lot of bow here when you put it down on a table. You can see this kept a lot of those things, but added more roundness to the back. This was kind of thin, sort of like the Kinetic scoop, so they made it a little thicker and added some nice roundness. So now let's look at the stringing. This is a true defensive head face shape, so really wide, very similar to the original tank. They didn't change a lot there. And I think the reason for that is, like I said, we've seen a lot of defensive players want a more pinched head. Well, Maverik has the Havoc, which is like their LSM head, which is pretty pinched. And so I think this is more of the option for people who want a pure D head, as much scooping and pass and knocking down space as possible. So it's got the wide face shape. And the only thing that makes it tough is the balance between that high pocket rail design, but you can see up where that pocket's meant to be strung on the rail design. If you look at the head there, it's just so wide that it's tough to get the high pocket to match up with the head. So this is the best I could do, pushing the pocket up high in the head. And you can see it's just gonna be a little wide on the channel, but for defense, that's honestly fine. The point of the high pocket is when you get a ground ball, you want the ball to fall into the deepest part of the pocket as quickly as possible. So other than the face shape, I think this was done really well for stringing. The top string holes are huge and well distributed, and the sidewall hole placement and number is some of the best in the game. They've got 5 really big ones at the top, and then nice tightly spaced smaller ones at the bottom. If I had one complaint about the stringing, or 2 complaints, it'd be the face shape, but also these rails are a little rounded and thick on the back, and the sidewall holes are placed a little lower in the rail, so there's more plastic between the hole and the top of the rail, and just makes the knots a little looser. I'm sure they did these things for strength, but it's just a note on stringing. Even this thing said, you can still get a great defensive pocket in this. Certainly not the tightest channel, but it's gonna work. So now a bonus episode of Head to Head. This was a series I used to run where I compare 2 heads that were going after the same target market and let you guys know which ones I thought you should pick. So today we've got the X20 and the Maverik Tank, the 2 most recent defense specific heads to come out. So first up, we're gonna look at price. They're the same, nobody wins there. We're gonna look at weight. The X20 is 5.2 ounces, where the tank is 5.7, so the X20 is gonna win the weight. Looking at stiffness, all I have to go by is hand feel. They feel very, very similar. I'm gonna give the slight edge to the tank, but I think that plastic change in the X20 is doing good things for them. And then stringing and face shape, I'm actually gonna give the nod on string and face shape to the X20. I think their face shape is just a little more pinched and led to a little bit of a nicer pocket. So the X20 is gonna get the nod there. Overall, if I had to pick between these 2 heads, it's tough because they're both these specific heads, but I think I'm gonna pick the X20. I really like what they did with the rails. I like what they did with the check plate. I think it looks cool. I think they've got one of the better scoops in the game. And again, I like that face shape just a little bit more, but both great D heads. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you like this format. If you'd be interested in more head-to-heads, I'd be happy to do them. Let me know if there's any comments you wanna leave. Be happy to answer them. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day.